pray for those that are present here today, for the commissioners, for the employees of Union County, for the families represented. Pray that she'll continue to lead, guide, and protect on this crisis.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Pitts.
Here.
Mr. Kohler. Here. Mr. Foster.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Gould.
First thing on the agenda, we've got approval.
Yeah, we missed one. I think we turned them in, we just didn't get them approved from the 21st of December.
Okay. Special meeting December 21st was on collective bargaining. Need a motion to approve those minutes.
Mr. Pitts.
Here.
Foster.
3 cents.
Yes. Mr. Kohler, excuse me, I skipped over you. Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Gould. Yes.
Minutes for our regular meeting on January 11th. Everybody had a chance to look at those. Need a motion to approve those as written.
I'll make it.
Second.
Mr. Pitts.
Yes.
Mr. Kohler. Yes. Mr. Foster. Yes. Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Gould. Yes.
Then we have executive session minutes on collective bargaining, January the 11th. Need a motion to approve those and keep them closed. Make a motion.
I'll say. Mr. Pitts.
Yeah.
Mr. Kohler. Yes. Mr. Foster. Yes. Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Gould. Yes.
Any? Okay. Public comments, anybody have anything they want to bring up at the moment? Yes, ma'am.
I want to compliment Grant and his staff. Unfortunately, I had to use the 911 and the ambulance a week and a half ago. The 911 staff, dispatcher could not have been better. The ambulance crew is absolutely fabulous. I hope you realize how fortunate we are in this county to have such professional people, and that we do take care of those people in order to keep them in our county.
Thank you, very well said, appreciate that. Ditto your feelings about them, they were great.
Appreciate that. Thank you. One thing I had for you was we had actually run into a problem with the new unit that we purchased.
She broke it. I broke it.
I wasn't going to tie that together, and she did not break it. We had a problem I've since found out, a wiring harness on the new unit, and the reason I bring this up is to make sure that this is seen as a positive. With one phone call to the company that I had suggested that we begin to work with, wheels were in motion. They were wanting to come down on Friday. I wouldn't let them take it on Friday because of the impending weather that was coming in. Obviously, we needed it that weekend, but Monday morning, we got it ready to go. They sent a driver, came down to picked the unit up, took it back to the factory, redid this wiring, and had it back to us by early Thursday morning. So it was all the way to the factory and back. At, to my knowledge, no cost to the county. So it was to reinforce the decision that when we came together on this decision months ago, a little over a year ago, this was the right decision, and these folks are on it. And they apologized to Union County and said we should have never had this problem. And it was an outside firm that had installed that piece, but they took responsibility for it. And it's refreshing to have, customer service and keep our equipment on the road. And we have good local vendors, and I wanted to press that in this case, the outside vendor here that we used to do this build, this was a quality build, and they took care of it and stood behind it. So.
And I heard your teams were busy over that weekend too.
Very, very busy, yes. That Saturday, it was pretty well all hands on deck.
Appreciate that report, Grant, and that is refreshing to hear good news about a vendor that we chose. Appreciate that.
Grant, from my knowledge, he was.
Osage, out of Lynn, Missouri.
Committee reports.
Shawnee meeting, we had like 192 senior packs. The next day, of course, Waiting helps with the distribution on those, and I think the very next day they gave out 146 of those. There have been around 2,000 applications already for energy assistance in January, expected to go up. So with COVID, of course.
Anybody else?
I've got a meeting next Tuesday with the director for Sarah. She will rewrite an ordinance on it's what the water
I don't have anything to report, so. Moving on. Building permits.
First one's for David and Carolyn Ramos, 0632050218. It's for a new home, previously subdivided area, no floodplain issues, recommend for approval. Next is George Ethlink, 0936066115A2. It's for a portable shed in previously subdivided area, no floodplain issues, recommend for approval.
While those are being passed around, you got any kind of update or great news from the weekend you want to?
We survived another one. It was a challenging event because of the wind and the impending plummeting temperatures after it. So basically anything that we established Saturday night, we were going to be livable for several days. So we called the crews early and put 4 crews out. At one point through the night, we had 5 out of 10 plows in the county stuck at the same time. So it was a challenging event. We lost one rear end, ripped the hitch out from under a truck, tore up 2 plows, and made it through unscathed. Just a typical another day of paradise.
You want to add anything just so the public knows as far as the salt issue?
Yeah, we're running very limited salt supplies. The state of Illinois, in their infinite wisdom, tied up all of the salt in the Midwest this year, not allowing the locals to purchase any. And I can typically buy salt for around $60 or $70 a ton delivered. And the only salt I could even find, it was $184 a ton coming out of Chicago. And so we're running very limited supplies right now. We're actually conserving what we do have in anticipation. We typically get our ice storms late January, early February, and what we do have, we're conserving for those ice storms. So that's the only thing that works on ice, those salt supplies.
Good job. Good job, as usual.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a motion to approve the building permits.
Who made the motion?
I said, do I have?
Oh,
okay.
Mr. Pitts?
Yes.
Mr. Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
County finances, we're still, I think Lee, you're still working on getting that all set up the way you want it.
Yes, I have completed entering the budget. With that being said, you'll be getting reports from me, but prior to that, you will be receiving numerous emails.
Okay.
I have no idea why that is, but it generates at least, 50 emails, and that's just to change from paper utility.
Right.
I've also sent that delinquent list for publication, and it will be published on January 31st. Tax sale will be March 13th.
Good deal. I think we're going to set up a meeting, right, Angie, with some departments and look at the tax.
Yes, I'm trying to set up a meeting the first week of February with the county clerk's office, treasurer's office, and assessor's office, so we can all come together and get our taxes out in a timely manner.
Know where we're at, so.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Have no old business. Under new business, approve payment of bills is going to have to wait till next meeting. We had a computer glitch yesterday and just kind of pretty much a disaster, so that's not available to do, but there's no problem there. Next item, declaration of ambulance sectional couch as surplus property. Anybody remembers in our budget, we approved new furniture for the ambulance quarters, so I need a motion to put this declaration in effect, put that stuff in surplus property.
Second. Mr. Pitts?
Yes.
Mr. Kohler?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop? Yes.
Next item, Revolution Recycling discussion. This is on here, I mean, we're not gonna be taking any action this morning, but I wanted to put it out there and let you guys tell me what you think, ideas. What we're referring to is the recycling bins over here in the parking lot. That originally started out with a grant where it was not an expense. That is long past. We are now paying, what,
$148 a week, so $7,700 a year.
county is paying $7,700 a year for that to be there. Now, having said that, it is utilized. We used to have it picked up bi-weekly. We're down to picking it up, what, once a week?
We pick it up once a week. The bi-weekly was overflowing. Grant can tell you that, because it's close to his place.
But I'm throwing this out here because, I mean, we're going to talk to the city of Jonesboro. Obviously, that's who benefits from this most. But it's getting rather expensive for the county. Anna has their own, Cobden has their own recycling. I think I'm right. There's public recycling, there was public recycling out at Schode. I went by there the other day and it's not there, so I don't know who was paying for that or whatever, but I don't believe it's there anymore. But I think, Bobby, you checked into some grants or anything, and there's nothing available?
There's nothing available. Continuing recycling.
I mean, do you guys have any ideas on this, or how do you feel about this? I mean, that's a pretty hefty expense for the county to be putting out.
It's expensive. That's supported, you know, so.
Max, can I toss in just a little bit on this?
Sure.
This, like a lot of other things, somehow or another, that ended up getting into the highway department when it first started. And that first year it was here as a grant, it was free. And we were making, I guess we were the only ones who could see it from our building or something. We were making the phone calls on, you know, come pick it up. I was probably making a phone call once every 2 months on that when it first started. And so at the end of that year, they said, you want us to come get the bin or you want to start paying the bill? So, you know, they looked at it, it really wasn't that much money, once every 2 months, okay, fine, well, they decided to to carry on the program. And now, just like she said, it's once a week, they're filling this thing up. Well, I've been in here at 3 o'clock in the morning several times, and I can see out my window, people backing up to that thing from businesses with a scoop shovel and shoveling bottles out of the back of their vehicles into that thing. So it's being used as a dumpster / recycle bin by some of the businesses also. So it's kind of gone from being a public service to we're supplementing some businesses.
People tend to abuse stuff like that. And that's why I personally just don't think it's a good use of taxpayers' money, when other villages and cities take care of it, so.
I believe the city, when they implemented it, we added the dollar.
Yeah, they charge for it, yeah.
On pickup fees, so.
But, anybody do you want to go to, I'm assuming, to the city of Jonesboro and speak with them about this as the first step, maybe?
Yeah, make our decision next week, or next week.
Well, I don't know if we'll get a decision made next meeting, but, depends on when somebody can get there, so. So I just wanted to put that out there for discussion, and if any of you guys come up with another idea or solution, please let Angie or I know. We'll continue to look at that and keep it on the agenda and so forth until we make a decision. Next is the MOU between the county and Local 4857 representing the Union County Ambulance Service. This memorandum of understanding, what it involves, basically, we have already negotiated a contract with the ambulance service, and it was approved by them and us. We're amending that with this MOU, changing their health insurance to match the other contracts. Actually, theirs was a little more where we started, and felt like that we should put them in line with everybody else. So I need a motion to approve this MOU.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Mr. Pitts?
Yes.
Mr. Tiller?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Next is the acceptance of the 2017 Union County audit. Sikich made a presentation on that. Last meeting, was it, or meeting before? Meeting before. This is on here to accept their audit as far as voting on it. We are still working on the corrective actions that they have suggested. We'll go ahead and have a motion to accept this audit as written. And next meeting, we will discuss the corrective actions and what the board is suggesting, but what we are doing to correct them. So we're just a little bit behind on that, but I want to go ahead and accept the audit. If I can get a motion, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Mr. Pitts?
Yes.
Mr. Tiller?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Wood? Yes.
Next item on the agenda is the resolution certifying persons required to file a statement of economic interest pursuant to the Illinois Governmental Ethics Act. This is an annual thing that we have to put on here, pass it. It's a form that is filled out by all the elected officials. Just need this resolution passed, which it actually officially lists everybody that's required to fill this form out. So I need a motion to approve this resolution, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Mr. Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster? Yes. Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Ritchie?
That completes the agenda. Anybody have any other business that came up? Need a motion for adjournment.
Commissioner Pitts? Yes. Commissioner Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster? Yes. Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner